I played this video clip before with Neil deGrasse Tyson where he's asked, what is gravity? And basically he doesn't have an answer. I'm going to play this video clip, and I'm also going to play a clip from Joe Rogan's podcast where the topic of gravity comes up with Lawrence Krauss, and he cannot answer what gravity is. He just basically states, you don't know what gravity is, jump out a window. That's not an answer. Let's listen to what is said here and I'll follow up.
And you know, the people who say gravity aren't real, I have a great solution.
What?
It's a
Jump
great
off
solution.
a building?
You walk out the window on the 13th floor and test your ideas.
Okay, so walk out the 13th floor of a building and test out your ideas. That's not an answer. That's not telling us how gravity works. That's like someone asking, how does an oven work? Well, put your hand in the oven and see what happens. Of course, your hand's going to get burnt, but that doesn't explain how an oven works. Just like Lawrence Krauss, he's not explaining how gravity works. And of course, he's going to have the insults to follow up here. Take a listen.
And the great thing is, do it before you reproduce.
Yeah, do it before you reproduce. This is someone that basically is frustrated. They cannot answer what gravity is. You know, basically, gravity is nothing more than a theory, and all these people that are in love with science, they're basically in love with science fiction. Believing a scientist just because he's a scientist isn't science. It's a religion. That's what it all comes down to. Let's listen to here once again, as I shown before, where Neil deGrasse Tyson is asked what is gravity. At least he's honest. Unlike this piece of garbage here, who basically tries to insult anybody, they'll ask him the question by saying walking out of a building. That's not an answer, like I said. Let's listen to again what Neil deGrasse Tyson says here when he's asked what is gravity. Take a listen.
Is gravity?
You have no idea. Okay, next question.
Wow.
No, here's the difference. We can describe gravity. We can say what it does to other things. We can measure it, predict with it. But when you start asking, like, what it is, I don't know.
And that's the correct answer. Basically, gravity doesn't exist. It's just buoyancy and density. Let's continue on here.
So did I accidentally ask a deeper question than I meant to?
Yeah, no, you were meant to ask deep questions
Yeah,
in life. So, to say what is it? I think Einstein, in an Einsteinian answer, we would say gravity is the curvature of space and time. And
Which makes no sense.
that and objects will follow the curvature of space-time, and we interpret that as a force of gravity.
Well, there's his so-called answer, which is nothing more than a bunch of gibberish, a bunch of rubbish. It all comes down to gravity is nothing but a hoax. And again, people that are in love with the idea and in love with these scientists, they worship them like they're gods. They can't even answer this simple question. Look at him, this goofball holding up the mic and dropping it again, just simply because the microphone itself is heavier than the air, that of course it's going to fall to the ground. It's not some magical force called gravity pulling it down. It's that simple. And of course you have the millions of drones that are worshiping these so-called scientists, which are nothing more than hired help, nothing more than actors, nothing more than deceivers that are on the payroll. And again, they cannot answer the simple question, what is gravity? One just basically flat out can't answer it. The other one gets insulted and says walk out of a building. Again, that's not an answer. It all comes down to is science and science fiction are one and the same, just like William Shatner once stated. And again, the masses, those that are in love with the idea of science, they have been blinded by science.
The pull of gravity isn't so strong that we can't raise our arms or anything. But it does pull on everything all the time. So if we're standing on the Earth's surface, it pulls us down toward the center of the Earth. Now we can test this. This is an old idea, but a good one. Watermelon. Carton of sour milk. Tofu. An old, I would say, ugly lamp.
She blinded me with science.
question is, through your career and your writing and your acting, you've inspired so many people to enter the sciences. How do you balance science with science fiction?
They're both the same. The mystery of science fiction is what I'm talking about. Science and science fiction are essentially the same.
Thank you very much.
How do you prove a black hole? How do you know those gravitational waves prove the collision of two black holes?
Somehow, eventually, they are able to observe phenomena.
No, they can't observe. It's too far away. It's too theoretical. How do we know what they're saying is true? You know what it really is? It's all science fiction.